So I was listening to these videos on YouTube. John Thor, he did two actually recently, compilation of Joe Rogan and Eddie Bravo's clashes, mainly about flat Earth. And and who else I saw? Who else did I see was talking about Joe Rogan? Oh, Eric Dubai on his channel. Was talking about Joe Rogan, and I know Subtle Infinity always talks about Joe. It just amazes me how he never stops to think before he opens his mouth. Some of the stuff that comes out is so contradictory and so, without even thinking about things. But I think that's the way all of us used to be, isn't it? I mean, even I did the same thing. A lot of things I would immediately have an answer for without even thinking about it, without even challenging it myself first, thinking, wait a minute, is that right what I'm thinking? And it's only afterwards then you think about it and say, oh yeah, actually I was wrong about that. But just the amazing sense of belief and trust he has in a world that he must know is very, very deeply corrupt and unfair. So why would you think in a world like that, which you can see with your own eyes, I mean, you don't have to be a truther to see the cruelty, injustice, inequality that happens in your own backyard and around the world. Around the world, huh? Anyway, so it was making me think about, people questioning, like, why would NASA lie and all that kind of stuff that comes up, irrespective of us knowing how people do things for money and power. I mean, throughout history, we've seen that. But the thing is, that comes to me is that the fact is your whole existence is a lie. Flat Earth is just one lie. There's lots of them. The very nature of, the very substance of your very life is based upon loads of lies, or at least truths that we've clung on to for certainty, in the sense that, I know I've mentioned this a million times, but just in case you're first time listening to this, the fact that a tree isn't a tree and a cow isn't a cow, these are names, so-called cow, these are names that we've given. That's how, well, unless God, if you believe in God, then you could say that God put these names into our heads and told us that this is a cow. The problem is the worrying thing is in the Bible, on the Quran, this makes me question these things a little bit. How does it refer to these names that we've given? Does God give these, if God created the cow, does he have a name for it? Or maybe he didn't bother about names. Maybe it's only us that are obsessed with boxes and names of things. But so when he calls it a cow in the Quran and the Bible, is he doing that because that's what we've called it? I don't know. Is cow is a Hebrew word? Is it an Arabic word? Is it an English word? You know what I'm trying to say. The thing is, we don't think about all these things because we're just taught at school when we're malleable, when we're children, that this is that and this is that. And that's what we spend a lot of our time, pictures of all these things. This is what this is. This is a box. This is a house. This is a cow. This is a tree. This is a cloud. This is the sky. This is space. This is a globe. But these are all things that, and maybe there's no way around this, because if we did just wake up, as it were, on this place, on this planet, then obviously we don't know what things are. If there is such thing as God, we don't have a way to talk to our Creator and ask him, what is this thing, so that we can call it the right thing through time immemorial. No, we'll just name it, and I'm sure it's changed. If you go back through history, I'm sure a cow used to be called something else. I'm sure a cow in a different country is called another thing. But what I'm trying to show you is that not only that is a lie, the very fact that the divisions, the fact that the land that we live upon, that we've divided it up and called it different countries, and we called ourselves different citizens, and we divided ourselves up by the colour of our skin, we divided ourselves up by the languages that we speak, the religions that we follow, every manner of ways, the football team you follow. So many ways we like to divide ourselves up, rather than, why do we love doing that? When we are a collective, in the sense that we're all one species, why are we obsessed with dividing rather than adding? That's a mindset issue that we've probably been taught. I don't think it's intrinsic. Because when we're babies, we don't really, we don't start dividing things up until we're taught how to divide them up, probably at school. Or just through the nature of teaching from parents and etc., passing down the same information. But the other thing is, like, what is your life about? What is your life about, really? This is another one of the lies, You would say, oh, you're free to do everything, you're free. Especially if you're in the West. Yeah, wait a minute, you need a passport, you need a visa to do this, that and the other. But wait a minute. You're free. No, well, wait a minute. Well, you have to go to work, isn't it? 9 to 5. Some people have to have more than one job. Both parents are at work, children are being looked after by who? What is your existence about? Your existence is about obtaining money. Although some people will look around that and say, well, that's not about that, it's about, being able to do things. Having a house, having a car, having holidays, having good schooling for your kids. Forgetting that this isn't the only way that things can be. But, because people will often argue, if I argued all this in front of someone, they would either slap me or shout at me or get angry without realising, wait a minute, am I actually lying to you? What is your existence about? Your existence is about making money. The money that doesn't actually really help you, it helps those rich people, powerful people. They're the ones that want to keep this running like this. Why do you want to keep it running like this? Why do you want everything that you do to be about money? Is this the kind of life you want to live? Where you spend your whole life working. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong about working, because in an ideal society, where we don't have money, and we live all together, and there's none of these divisions, and we realise that, we're actually the same species and we should be working together, we do need people to work, in the sense that we need people to do things that are practical, that are necessary, like medicine, curing things. If they're not being, if it's not us who are actually making ourselves sick by the stuff that we put in our food. Anyway, that's another subject. I've talked about that already on another podcast. But the thing is that we need to understand all this. There's not just one lie, there's many lies, and the root of these lies is your mind, the way you think. Everything that you think you know, that you don't really know, it's just, those are the names you've been told throughout history. That you're wasting your life every single day to earn money, to be able to buy things that are made from this planet that was given freely to us all, whether you believe in religion or not. Why do we need to live in a way where people possess things and that we have to purchase things to get things? Can't you see how much of a caveman mentality that is? But a lot of people will hold on to that because maybe they've already got the stuff and they don't want to lose it, or because they can't think of any other way of living, because then their mind will go to communism, which is done on purpose, just so that people don't stray from capitalism, they don't stray from this love of money. And it's just ironic that in the Bible, does it not say that money is the root of all evil? There's more than how many Christians are out there full of money. The contradictions of humanity is just amazing. But just think of the people who are suffering because of those contradictions. When you've been told what you need to know, you know yourself in your heart of hearts. The life we're living is a very unfair one for the majority of people, unless you are the ones who have. But unless we change these things, it's always going to be like that. Anyway, that's just what I wanted to say. Take care, take it easy. God bless and peace.